What if I told you that there is a crucial difference between knowing the path and actually following it? Many people think that simply knowing what is right is enough, but in practice, it is quite the opposite. True transformation begins when our actions align with what we believe. This choice between what is known and what is lived, between what is easy and what is true, is what defines the life of those who seek to walk with God. It is a journey that requires courage, where the comfort of maybe is replaced by the commitment of yes, I will. How many times have we felt the call to something greater, but hesitated? Who has never wondered if they are living according to their purpose? What few realize is that each decision, no matter how small it may seem, builds our path, and that is where the power of choices lies. It is not about perfection, but about trust. When we trust that God is by our side, even the most uncertain steps become firmer. In this video, you will discover how to align your heart and mind to follow this path with fullness. If you've ever felt like something was missing from your journey, if you're looking for a clearer purpose, now is the time to reevaluate and redirect your choices. So, let's join us on this journey of faith and self-discovery. Because knowing the path is just the beginning. The real challenge is having the courage to follow it. There is a huge gap between knowing where you want to go and actually taking the first step, isn't there? Many people know the path of faith and trust in God, but few decide to follow this path, which requires courage. When we think of faith, we imagine a comfortable feeling, but in practice, it is a constant act of trust. It is like someone who has a map to a treasure, but does not face the storms to get there. Those who truly want to live do not limit themselves to knowing the path, but rather commit to following it firmly. When you know the right path, it is natural for doubts to arise, but it is at these times that wisdom makes the difference. Making the decision to follow the path of faith, even in the face of uncertainty, is an attitude that transforms lives. Imagine someone who discovers the route to a full life, but is hesitant. The person never truly experiences the fruits of it unless they decide to walk. It is the same with trust in God. You have to trust the map, but also follow the journey. Following the path does not mean that the road will be without stones, but that there will be strength to overcome them. Faith is not the absence of challenges, but the certainty that God is guiding each step. On this journey, many may ask themselves, is it worth it? And the answer lies in trusting in something greater than doubts. Those who decide to follow this path find hope, which fuels the journey. Each step leads to the next, like a road that reveals its purpose with each kilometer. Every decision we make is like a stone thrown into a lake. The ripples spread and reach us again at some point. How many times have we found ourselves thinking, what if I had made a different choice? In fact, each step is a reflection of past decisions. And when the path is guided by faith and trust in God, choices take on new meaning. It's not just about what we want, but about what God points out to us as a wise, safe, and hopeful path. In life, it's common to encounter moments of uncertainty. In these moments, the choice between moving forward or giving up makes all the difference. Each choice directly reflects how the journey will be conducted. Imagine a person who faces a big decision at work and seeks wisdom to decide. They know that God offers paths of peace, but the responsibility to follow with faith is theirs. Daily choices, even the smallest ones, shape our future in a profound and lasting way. Decisions are like seeds planted. Some bear fruit quickly, others require patience and care. This is where faith comes into play once again. Knowing how to wait for the right time, without losing confidence. Many people look for immediate results, but they forget that the greatest blessings come with time and persistence. When you trust in God, the wait becomes easier, because you are certain that, in due time, each decision will bring the desired results. It is common for people to feel distant from God at some point in their lives, as if something had led them astray. This distance can bring a feeling of emptiness, of something essential being missing. But the truth is that God is always with open arms to welcome those who decide to return. This rapprochement does not have to be dramatic. Sometimes, it is in the simplicity of an open heart that the connection is restored. A sincere prayer, a moment of reflection, a commitment to seek God's presence. These are powerful steps towards getting closer. Returning to walking with God is like reconnecting with the source of hope and peace. Imagine a friendship that has been out of touch for years, but when it is reconnected, it brings an almost inexplicable joy. God does not see the past. He welcomes each person with love, offering a new beginning. Those who are distant may feel discouraged, but in reality, it is a decision within everyone's reach. Taking the first step, whether seeking comfort in prayer or simply asking for strength to get closer, is what begins this reconnection with Him. This invitation does not require great preparation or immediate changes. All it takes is a willing heart. Sometimes, it is a simple "God, I need you" that begins this transformation. The most important thing is to keep in mind that He wants this closeness. He wants to share moments of faith, renewal, and trust. And with each step taken towards God, a new layer of peace and wisdom is revealed. This reunion opens doors to a deeper life, full of meaning and, without a doubt, guided by hope. In life, what we encounter most are distractions that try to divert us from what really matters. It is as if we were on a path full of small lights, each one competing for our attention and, at times, making us lose our way. Focusing on God and the wisdom He offers requires practice and dedication, because everything we nurture tends to grow. When someone chooses to place their trust in the divine presence, distractions gradually begin to lose their shine. The secret is to carefully choose where to place your heart. To protect yourself from distractions, it is important to define what really deserves attention. Many times, we are so absorbed in tasks and concerns that we leave aside our own faith and hope, the sources of our strength. Imagine an athlete, for example, who needs to maintain absolute focus on their training, without letting themselves be shaken by what is happening around them. In the same way, those who seek to walk with God must identify what is truly essential and, with confidence, set aside the rest. Small practices, such as daily moments of prayer, can help maintain this strong connection. Choosing to focus on what builds us up is a daily decision that requires discipline and willpower. It's not about ignoring the world, but about learning to prioritize what really matters. When distractions are reduced, God's presence becomes more evident, and the peace that comes from Him is felt in every step. Every day, we can make a choice to nurture what brings hope and strengthens our faith, or to allow distractions to dictate our path. And with each decision to turn away from what distracts us, the spiritual path becomes clearer and more rewarding. Living the supernatural means stepping out of the ordinary, allowing faith to open doors to the extraordinary. Many believe that miracles are rare, but in fact, when someone surrenders their expectations and trusts God completely, the supernatural becomes possible. It is as if each step of faith were a key that unlocks new possibilities. It is not necessary to see the result immediately. Sometimes, what is needed is just the confidence to take the first step and let God's wisdom reveal the next. True faith finds the extraordinary even in simple things. Living a life of miracles does not mean expecting everything to happen magically, but rather acting with hope and surrender, knowing that God is in control. Imagine a farmer who plants his seeds without seeing the fruit immediately. He trusts in nature and tends his plantation until the right time arrives. In the same way, those who live the supernatural act with confidence, knowing that the harvest will come. It is this surrender that makes it possible to experience the unusual, that feeling of peace in the midst of struggles, or an unexpected solution when everything seems uncertain. Every time someone decides to walk in faith, the supernatural manifests itself in unique and magnificent ways. This is the mystery of faith. It is not based on what is visible, but on what is promised. Believing in the extraordinary is making room for God to bring new colors to our daily lives, so that hope is renewed each morning. Those who live this trust find strength that goes beyond their own, because they understand that they are anchored in something greater. And it is with this willingness that miracles begin to become real, like a wave that spreads and transforms everything around them. Deciding to walk with Jesus is more than a momentary choice. It is a commitment to follow a journey of faith and transformation. It is knowing that, by walking with Him, the past loses its weight, and a new future opens up, full of hope and purpose. For many, fear of the unknown prevents this decision, but when someone chooses to surrender their insecurities to God, they find a peace that strengthens each step. Walking with Jesus means trusting that, even when difficulties arise, His presence will be a firm anchor. This decision also involves a process of letting go of what does not add up and embracing what really matters. Imagine someone carrying a backpack full of rocks. The walk becomes tiring and slow. By walking with Jesus, one learns to let go of what weighs down and, thus, the journey becomes lighter. It is an invitation to abandon unnecessary worries and trust that God is ahead, guiding with wisdom. Those who accept this call begin to experience the freedom and peace that only a life in communion with Him can bring. Each day is a new chance to reaffirm this choice, to adjust our focus and to continue walking alongside Jesus. It is not about perfection, but about surrender and perseverance. It is knowing that, with each step, there is a new lesson, a new miracle, and a new hope. Those who decide to live this way feel renewed, because they are not walking alone, but with the constant presence of God. This journey brings with it a wisdom that lights the way and opens the heart to all that is good and true, revealing, little by little, the greater purpose that God has for each one of us. So, now that you know the power of aligning your choices with your purpose, I ask you, what steps are you willing to take? Are you ready to leave behind what keeps you from a full life and embrace what brings you closer to God's plans? Deciding to walk with Him is more than an act of faith. It is a daily choice. It is an invitation to live the extraordinary. How about challenging yourself to apply this starting today? Remember, every great transformation begins with a decision. With each step we take towards this journey of faith, we get closer to a greater purpose, to a life where trust and wisdom guided by God become the center. What choices are you prepared to make? How about sharing them here in the comments? Your experience can inspire many others to do the same. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, take the opportunity to subscribe and activate notifications. That way, you will not miss any content on how to walk with more confidence and hope. And remember, we are together on this journey. Until the next video.